Your future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow. Once we have the requirements in place, we need to take a look at the system at 10,000 feet. We will be looking at the overview of the system and the main components that will make up the system. Let's have a look at the requirements again. These are the 6 requirements that we have identified in our previous section. Let's also look at the sequence diagram. The user interacts with the system 3 times: to retrieve, to search, to select, and to confirm booking. With that, let's try and identify the main components of the system. Remember, we will be building a system in an iterative way. We don't know entirely how the system works going forward. That's how the business evolves. That's how the requirements evolve. The user interacts with the system using a user interface. Let's call it a front end. The front end is responsible for serving the UI, user interface, to the user. When the request comes to the front end, the first thing the front end does is to authenticate the user, which means the front end validates the user's identity. Authentication process is handled by the authentication service. When the authentication is successful, the front end calls the event service to get events or book an event. The event service is responsible for managing the events and the bookings. This is the only service with which the front end interacts. When the request is received by the event service, the first thing it does is to authorize the event. Authorization means checking if the user has permission to get the events or book the ticket of the event. If the user is authorized, the event service fetches the event from a data store. We name it as events data. If the request is for booking, the event service does not book the ticket. Instead, it delegates the responsibility to another service. A very important principle we follow here is called segregation of responsibility. We assign responsibilities to each service, and that service handles only those particular responsibilities. Booking service will receive the request and manages the data in data store. This is booking data. These are the main components of the ticket booking system. One important thing to note here is that I have not used technical terms like microservices, relational database, monolithic. The main components are such that it can be implemented as microservices where components interact with each other via HTTP or gRPC, or it can be implemented using classes and interfaces in a monolithic application where components interact through functional calls. Don't miss the next important chapter in this series. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified. Till then, cheers.